It's no weapon, bro. No weapon, right? Push it a little bit that way. This way? Yeah. The whole thing. I want to see the guests too.
I like that.
Yeah, that should work. That's fine. We come in Periscope, you hear the music playing, so you know we killing. They can talk no matter what you doing. That's what we were rocking. That's all. Good afternoon, everybody. What's happening? What's happening? Welcome to the After Church Show with Greg and friends. I'm your host, GB, and as always, I've got my man Massey with me. What's going on, Massey?
Hey, what's going on, brother?
Hey, now nothing. Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing today? You doing good?
Oh yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
Okay, everybody got a little itis.
Little itis, you
Got a
know.
little itis. Had a big breakfast.
Oh yeah, went to brunch this morning, and you know, I'm ready to sneeze, but you know we got to do this. So.
That pancake ministry got you.
Oh yeah. The omelet ministry and the waffle ministry.
Oh man. Well, welcome to the After Church Show with Greg and friends. You know, once again we're back at it doing our thing. We are live now on Periscope, After Church Show. We're live on Ustream, Street Legal Radio. We're also interacting with everybody socially. So if you're on social media today, first of all, log into our website, www.theafterchurchshow.com. And on the website, you'll see interfaces for all the major social media networks. So you can hit us up on Facebook, Twitter, Periscope, IG, and then we'll be uploading our show on YouTube when we're done. But head to the website, www.theafterchurchshow.com, and right across the top, you'll see a red bar. If you click that, you hook straight up with Street Legal Radio. So big shout out to Street Legal Radio, Mark Curry and the family down here for letting us do our thing. We're always having a good time, so we want to get right into it as we always do. So I found something interesting this week. And, you know, last week we were talking about a prominent Baltimore pastor who got caught up in the issue with a paternity suit, and there was a video that was released where it was actually addressed. So I saw that the individual actually spoke up to what's going on. Now it wasn't deep, it wasn't in depth, and for quote unquote legal reasons they couldn't really speak to the nature of what was going on. But I saw that there was a bit of bit of reflectiveness and honesty in the video. So big ups, you know. I'm actually going to say, you know, big ups to this pastor. Again, you can Google it because we're not into throwing out names, but big ups to the pastor for stepping up to the plate and saying, hey, look, he even described it as a character flaw. He said, I have a character flaw, and I'm going to stand in front of what's going on. So I was like, okay. All right, that's what we need. You know what I mean? What y'all think? I mean, that's what we need. We need people to be honest. Now I know we feel like, hey, take that extra step and go ahead and have a seat for a few months, take a sabbatical. But it's a step. You know what I mean? It's a step. So it was something positive that I tried to extract from that, because I mean, we're not going to sit and vilify everybody because we want to build up and not tear down. But that it was commendable. So just with the same intensity that we come at somebody. We need to give them, you know, their respect when they step up and do what's right too. So, very interesting to see that going on. What else is going on in the news? Anything happening that you guys saw this week of interest? I saw a couple of stories going on, but what about you guys?
I saw what's going on. I was watching Roland Martin, and he's calling out prominent pastors right now. He's calling out people in the church, I would say, because of all the things that are going on at Baylor University.
Oh yeah, the sex scandals.
They have sex scandals that they're dismissing. They have some rape accusations, and basically Roland Martin is saying that none of the pastors are speaking up. He specifically, I saw this because I follow him on Twitter. He tagged Bishop Paul Morton and like, hey man. Mm-hmm. So he's like,
well, that's
what's
down
going
in the area.
on?
That's
yeah.
Right.
So you know, that's crazy. You know, and sometimes people want the quick response. Mm-hmm. They may not respond right now. They may. I say, you know, they have to not necessarily expose what's going on, but they have to get to the bottom because Baylor University is a predominant Christian university.
Yeah. So it's all about stepping up and speaking to what's going on. You can't avoid what's happening. You know, that's why we have the format that we have, because it's all about confronting issues. You know, if you're not willing to confront an issue, then you might as well just sit down, because you know, there's no healing, there's no development, there's no reconstruction, there's no building up. There's none of that can occur without confrontation. Mm-hmm. You know, if you got a problem, you got to confront the problem. When you confront the problem, that's when you figure out what you can do about the problem. So, you know, I hope, and I did catch a little bit of that story as well, but I hope that people do step up and say what needs to be said and do what needs to be done as it relates to that, because we, you know, can't hide behind the curtain, man. It's just not gonna happen if you try to hide behind the curtain. So, let's get right into our thing. You know how we do. You know how we tackle stuff and talk about things. So the thing I want to talk about first is cliques in the church. You know, there seems to be, there's historically been an issue with cliques inside the church. And what I mean by that is, you know, there's a group of people, or either a small group or a large group of people, that they're like almost a church within a church. You know what I'm talking about? They've got their own little group and team of people that they deal with. They don't deal with nobody else, and it's hard to get in or out of the group because they just who they are. And it doesn't matter how long or short they've been there, but this seems to be something that happens within the body as well. And I think that it's kind of interesting to view and talk about, because I always put myself in the position of a new member. Mm-hmm. Whenever there's a new member that comes into the body, whenever there's a new member that comes to your church, you know, how are they going to be received? How are they going to be dealt with? How are they going to be treated by the existing people that are there? And when you have these cliques, you know, it reminds me of like the was it Spike Lee movie, School Days? Remember they had the sororities, the jigaboos, and the wannabes. You know, you had to figure out like which one you belonged in, and if you didn't fit in one or the other, you was kind of like ostracized. So, you know, I think that that's damaging. But what do you guys think when it comes to cliques in the body? Have you experienced that? Have you seen that?
Yes,
you know,
most definitely.
Yeah.
It separates everybody, and then it creates a whole realm of negativity, because you have your gossiping clique, you got your hater clique, you know, your choir clique, and all of that, you know, or just it's unnecessary. You know, it brings a lot of jealousy, and then that makes when a new member is coming in, it's like, I don't know if I want to be a part of that, you know, because you're seeing that, and it's just the separation it's already enough separation. You know, we don't need that in the church too.
Right. It's almost like subdividing even more.
Right, and it, like you said, it causes division, and people can see that, and people can feel that. I've been to churches, clicky churches, just everybody, and then I've been to churches where the pastor got a clique.
Yeah,
like he only want now. I'm not getting on pastors for having the people that work with them and assist them and all that.
Absolutely,
I get that, but when you have a church that there's so many cliques in there, everybody doing their own thing, you'll never have unity in that church. You'll never have unity in that church. So
it's childish.
Yeah, it is.
I mean,
it's almost high school,
right? It's high schoolish, childish. You know what I mean? It's stuff that it's stuff we definitely should not have that going on. Right. And I've experienced it too. You go into a place, and it's almost like, you know, people don't want to speak, or you know, the worst thing is to come into a church and you're a visitor and it's your first time there, and nobody even interacts with you. You know what I mean? It's like it took the usher, it took all their strength and might to open the door for you. And then then once you get there, you know, you sit there, and then, You know, a lot of churches, they have a custom. You know, I know they do this at our church as well. But, you know, like right in the beginning of the service, you know, give somebody a hug, say hello, you know, greet them, and you just standing there. And because don't nobody know you, don't nobody come over to you. You know what I mean? You just
they just stand there and mugging at you.
right.
Come on, man.
Can somebody hug me? Can
Right.
somebody
I'm here as a visitor. I'm coming.
Right.
And the sad thing about it is, like, I've known people that say, at the church they hug me. Is that foreign to you?
Right.
Is that
you
foreign to
offended
you?
by the fact that somebody wants to be nice
so
to you?
strange. Why?
Yeah. How about giving some love and being appreciative?
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
And it's really like it's a bad reflection on the church. It's a bad reflection on the pastor. It's a bad reflection on Christians as a whole, because you know one of our main tenets, the main tenets of our faith is what? Is love. You know what I mean? That's one of the things that we're supposed to show all the time is the love of Jesus Christ. And if we can't show that to somebody coming into church, you know, that's pretty pathetic. You know what I mean? And then not following up, you know, if you don't follow up with a visitor, a lot of times some people, you never know. And I always find it funny, but sometimes this could have been somebody's first time coming back to church in a long time. You know, it could have been their first visit back to the church, could have been their first time trying to be back amongst believers, and then they get that treatment. They go, why should I come?
That's why I left in the first place.
Right. That's why I left in the first place. So it's something, man. I mean, I'm like, I can't put myself too far out there, but I will say that's something that definitely needs to change. Something that we need to do a lot differently if we expect for there to be, you know, the genuine sense of reciprocation amongst the body of believers. But that takes me to another point, something that we talked about a little earlier this week, and I think that this is kind of a touchy subject to a degree, but it's also something that I think that needs to be addressed so that it doesn't get out of hand. And that's the whole issue that people have with the church. Is the church conforming to the world by copying or mimicking mainstream media? So,
Right.
Maxie, you want to tell people it was something that you saw that kind of prompted this whole conversation.
Yeah, so I saw a picture on Facebook and Instagram, and pretty much it was an Easter service Sunday like flyer.
Okay.
And the pastor and his wife decided to take the picture like on Empire, like how in the picture Cookie and Lucius, he's looking one way and she's
Slightly
behind
over
him.
the shoulder.
Right.
Yeah.
And it was just like, seriously? And people were like,
for Easter service, y'all gonna do an Empire thing.
and people were like, really like, oh, that's a good picture. And I'm sitting here like, am I the only one to think this is ludicrous?
Yeah.
Like this is just one of those things. This is one of those things. Like, first of all, for Resurrection Sunday, like seriously, but then to actually do it, like, come on. It's just like the pastors that are. I've seen several videos where pastors are coming down in the hoverboards.
Oh my goodness! I saw one of those videos. They had,
people giving
it
their
was a
offering
praise and
on
worship team on hoverboards. I
Yeah.
guess they were supposed to be angels.
Right. They were dancing.
They were
on
dancing
a-
on a.
Now
I
that
don't
might
know.
sound like creative, but what part of the
It's
game?
unnecessary.
What part of the game is that?
I'm not sure. I can't figure out how that's okay. You know what I mean? It's one of those. It's crazy as I don't know what. But this pastor, this made me really think. Like, so because the conversation we have, you know how we are. We trip, we bug out all the time. But it really made me think about something deeper as it relates to this, because you know, with the churches possibly utilizing worldly formats to attract people, it really sends the wrong message. So I'm like, well, you have to question: is Jesus present in what they're doing?
Right.
You know what I mean? What is the motive behind you mimicking? Because I mean, I've seen like, I don't know, like the church signs where they kind of use like a unique title to make you come in that Sunday, or the pastor may give like the title of his sermon and give it a very unique twist to kind of pique your interest. But with things where it goes a little bit too far, you know, that's when you start teetering on something called secularization. So when the secular comes into the church so far that you can't distinguish the two apart, then you actually have a major issue on your hands, because you're not really drawing people by utilizing the gospel. You're actually drawing them in based upon a worldly principle and a worldly premise. And so if then they're coming because of that, then you're misdirecting and misleading people. So if Jesus is not present, they're not preaching about, and you see this filtered out in a lot of the sermons that you hear sometimes as well. Because if a pastor or preacher or minister or whomever is not preaching about the actual gospel, and as opposed to preaching about the gospel, because the gospel itself, the nature of it by nature is controversial, because it's meant to confront that sinly aspect of us. It's meant to make us uncomfortable. It's meant to make us, think. We use the word, convicted. It's meant to convict us and to challenge us, to move us to another level. But if the preaching is always about something popular and it's always about, something that's easy to digest, then, are you really trying to do what the gospel is directing us to do, or are you actually just trying to appease through a worldly fashion? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that was. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go.
Remember, I also sent. There was also another video, and I sent this to Greg, and it was I guess it was a praise and worship team.
R. Kelly.
No.
R. Kelly.
We're not even going to comment.
No.
Right. One time he's singing "I Believe I Can Fly," and they sing it all in the churches, and the next thing he's singing "Bump the Ground." So we're not gonna touch on R. Kelly. No, I was. They were doing all that. Bet you can't do it like me song.
Oh yeah.
But they're like, bet you can't do it like me. Can't praise God like me. Can't speak in tongues like me. And I'm sitting here like, who thought of this? Who thought that this would really be cool?
Right.
That's when you got to separate. Is this really for Jesus, or y'all trying to be? Y'all trying to be
popular,
right?
Just trying to be popular.
Trying to get some laughs instead of being serious.
Right.
Yeah, I know we on this whole come as you are thing, but we can't.
Right. Don't be too raw.
Right. We can't be. You can't be too 100 with it. Like we supposed to separate ourselves from the world. So
it's almost like entertainment. Entertaining in some ways has become more important than the spread of the gospel and biblical discipline. Now. I'm all for contemporary music. I'm all for trying to do things different, new, inventive ways, but all within the confines of what the Word says. It has to be based upon a biblical foundation that's unshakable. Because if you don't do that, then you are, in essence, what you're doing is you're allowing yourself to show wishy-washiness, in my opinion. So it can't be all about entertainment and then not about the Bible. The preaching can't be all about what's popular, and then you're afraid to talk about the things that will hurt people's feelings, or preach about the things that will cause people to think and maybe possibly really challenge them, because you're afraid that you'll lose members, or you're afraid that so and so won't come this week, or so and so won't come next week because I preached about something that hurt them. So we should be praying about every sin that's listed in the Bible without fear.
Right.
You know what I mean? And because that's what Jesus did, right? He wasn't afraid to confront anybody. It's controversial in its nature.
Right.
You have to. So anyway, I just thought that it was something. And once you shared that advertisement with us, and then we lined it up next to the actual Empire advertisement, man, it was like, geez, man, are you trying to be Pastor Lucius now? Is that what the game is? So, but anyway, that was their Easter Sunday. That was their Easter Sunday. But look, we've come to our first break. So we're going to take a break real quick. But for those of us who are following us and listen to us, remember, spread the word. We're www.streetlegalradio.com. You can download the Street Legal Radio app, and we're live streaming on Ustream as well, Street Legal Radio. When we come back, we are actually excited. We got a guest coming in here with us today. We have a native Baltimorean, Naomi B. She's visiting us today, so she's going to come in and chat with us and sit and talk with us about her new album and about her musical ventures. So we will definitely be back in a little bit, and when we come back, we'll be speaking with her. So stay tuned, stick with us, and we'll be back in just a few.
It must be something that Periscope changed, because it wouldn't let me come in either. It said you had to follow us back. I'm assuming because of all the creeps out there that just leave crazy comments. I don't know what's going on.
Okay, so do people just need to follow in order to...
Yeah, we need to follow back people.
Follow back people?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.